Hi everyone, it's Dee from Blue Ridge Diva Designs. I'm down here in Morehead City, North Carolina, visiting my daughter. So I'm also taking care of my little grandson, so I really haven't had a lot of time this week to do a video. But I came up with a little earring, and thought I might show you guys how to make this set of earrings. It's really cute. I've had these little 9-hole separator bars here for quite a while, and I couldn't figure out exactly what I wanted to do with them. But I came up with an idea to create this little earring, and I kind of like the way it came out, so I'm just going to show you guys quickly how to do this today. And then I'm probably going to explore this idea a little more in depth later on. But it's just a really cute little earring. I've done this with some crystals here, which are half Labrador. So you can see that they have the half silver finish only on half the side, and the other side is just crystal. And they're really pretty. And then I have also, that came with these particular crystals on a strand from A.C. Moore, or some little 8OC beads. And they also have the little half silver finish on them. So we utilized a few of those in between my crystals on this chandelier adaptation. So you'll need 2 of these little separator links here with 9 holes. Now you can make this obviously using smaller ones or larger ones if you wanted to, but I've got a bunch of these little 9-hole ones, and I'm going to use that today and show you guys how to get started with this project. And you can expand on that, you know, later if you want to on your own. You'll also need some jump rings, and I used 3 jump rings in this project per earring. So for a whole set of earrings, you'll need 4 of these, 6 jump rings, 2 ear wires, 18 of the crystals, and I'll measure those in just a moment. You'll need roughly, let's see, I can do a quick count, 2, 4, 6, 8, 12 each of those little 8OC beads. And then you're going to need, you know, a little handful of some silver lined. I have some silver lined crystal, and I have some antique silver in 11OC beads. And these are just the little round seed beads. There's nothing special about them. You can get them anywhere. And then I also have some links of chain here, and I've cut these links of chain, or lengths of chain, sorry, 8 links long each. And I used those pieces here to come off of my bars and up to the ear wire, like so. And there you can see the jump rings, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so give me a moment just to get my bead mat set up, and we'll get started. I forgot to mention, like I didn't mean to, but I have a size 10 beading needle here and some 6-pound fire line in the smoke. I probably should have used the crystal, but I didn't have any threaded on a needle, so I just went ahead and used the smoke. With all the silver and everything that's in the project, as you can see that it doesn't really have an impact, even though I have a few of these silver line crystal seed beads. You really can't see the thread through those, because I didn't have to go through them too many times. Alright, so to get started on the project, what you're going to do is take your needle and pass it through one of your bars on the end, one of the holes on the end. Leave yourself just a little bit of a tail, a couple inches, nothing major, because we're going to tie a knot. And then what I did was pick up 4 of my 11O silver line crystal seed beads, and I'm coming out of my bar on the right hand side. So I'm going to go through the corresponding hole on the other bar, just like that, and pull my thread through. Nice and gently, so you don't pull it all the way out. And this is what you'll have. You'll have your 2 bars with 4 seed beads sitting in between them. I'm going to take my needle, and I'm going to pass it back up through the hole below the hole I just came out of. And I'm going to pull that through. And tighten this up just a little bit. And then I'm going to pick up 4 more seed beads of the 11O silver line crystal. And then I'm going to come up through the corresponding hole of my other bar. And I'm going to pull my thread through. And I'm going to get my needle out of the loop. And what I've created, I'm going to pull my thread down so I just have a small tail here. Okay, so what I have is 2 sets of 4 seed beads sitting between these 2 bars on my first 2 holes to the left. And now what I'm going to do is just take my thread and tie a knot and secure it all up. Now I have my knot, and my working thread is coming out here. So as you can see that my knot kind of secured, you know, here on this little space between my 2 bars, and that's perfectly fine because that part's not going to be noticeable when we finish up the earring. But what I need to do is come back through my 3rd hole here. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and go back through these 4 seed beads in the 2nd hole without putting any more beads on, and come through both of my holes on my bars and those 4 seed beads. And bring my thread straight through. Okay, now to get into position to go down to add some more beads, I'm going to come through the 3rd hole in between the 2 bars. Pull my thread through. And now I'm going to pick up some of my little gunmetal or antique silver seed beads. So to continue on, I'm just going to pick up my 4 11Os in this dark silver. And I'm going to come down through the hole opposite on the other bar to situate the beads right between the 2 bars. And pull secure. And actually, I'm over just a little here, so I'm not sure. I think I twisted. All I got to do is pull it like that. There we go. Make sure that you don't get your thread hung up across the top of the bar like I just did. Alright, so I have those 4 beads in place. So now I'm going to come back through the next hole in line into the middle of my work and pick up 4 of my 11O silver seed beads again. And as you can see, I'm just going to work my way across. Now I can come through the hole on the other bar directly across, situate these 4 seed beads, and then what I want to do is I'm going to pass back through the previous 4 silver seed beads, the 2 bars and the 4 seed beads, and tighten this work up. Just reinforce a little bit here. And do the same on the 4 that I just added. And come through the top of the bar. And pull snug. Now I've reinforced those. Now I'm going to add silver beads all the way down. I'm going to put a total of 5 sets of silver beads in between my bars. So I'm going to just keep working with those by picking up the 4. Actually, first I need to get into position here. Come back to the middle on the 5th hole, which this is the center of the bar. So now I pick up 4 more 11O dark silver seed beads. Pass down through the hole on the other side of the bar on my other side. Come up through the next hole in line to the middle of my work. Pick up 4 more of these 11O silvers. And these are just some really cheap seed beads, so I'm actually going to try to call out anything too thick as I add my seed beads in, as I want them kind of thin to keep the spacing between my bars relatively even. So there's 3, I need 1 more. And I need to come up through the hole up on the other bar, directly in line with where I'm working. Okay, so I've done 2 more, so I'm going to reinforce those as well. Pass back down through both bars and all the seed beads in between on the previous round. And then on the round of seed beads I just added, come through both bars and all 4 seed beads. You can flip your work over like that just to make sure your needle's catching all the beads in both bars. Alright, so I have 1 more set of these little silvers, so I have to come in here and get into position. So 1 more set of dark silver to add. There's 4 on. And go straight across here. Put those beads in place. Now I want to come back through the very next hole. And then I'm going to be picking up 4 silver lines for the next 2 segments here of the silver line crystal. So pick up 4 of my clear with the silver lining, come through, and pass into the hole on the end, and pick up my last 4. And pass through there. Okay, and now I'm just going to reinforce these last 2 rows. If you'll notice, I did not reinforce this row here, and that's because basically there was an odd row, and I was only reinforcing every second row, doing 2. Okay, now I've reinforced all the way up my whole entire little segment of work here, and I have this little piece here created, and it's really cute. It almost looks like brick stitch, you know, on the fringe earrings you're used to seeing. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to work on this portion of my earring. I'm going to add these little pieces down here at the bottom. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up one of my 8 seed beads, one of my crystals, and these are, I'm pretty sure they're 8mm crystals, but I'll measure really quick just to make sure what we're actually using here today. And they are 8mm bicones. Alright, so I've picked up an 8 seed bead, a bicone. I'm going to pick up 1 more 8 seed bead, and then I'm going to pick up an 11. I'm going to bring all of that down to the bottom of my working thread here, up against the base of my work. Then I'm going to skip over the 11 I picked up and pass my needle back through the 8, the bicone, the 8, the bar, my 4 11 seed beads, and the bar on the other side, and pull my thread. You know, created this cute little dangle here on the end. Now, to get into position, I'm going to come back down through my bar and the 11 seed beads in the second bar. So I'll be in position to add my next little dangle segment. And for that segment, I'm going to just simply pick up 8 11 seed beads of the silver lined crystal. There's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then one of my 11 dark silvers. Now I'll carry that down to the end of my thread, up against the base of my work. And once again, I'm going to skip this last bead, which is the dark silver here, and pass back up through all of those 11s, my bar, the 4 11s in the center, and the bar, and pull my thread through. And you can see I've created my second little dangle. And it's like a really easy project, as you can tell. The only trick to it is to, you know, keep a look at what you're working on here and count, you know, your bead counts, and make sure that you're doing the exact same thing on your other earring. All right, so now to get in position to add the next one, I'm going to come back down through the bar, my 4 dark silver 11-ohs and the bar. And now I'm going to pick up an 8-oh, a crystal, an 8-oh, a crystal, and one of my dark 11-ohs, seed beads. And bring that down. And just as before, I'm going to skip the last bead, go back up through my crystal, my 8-oh, my crystal, my 8-oh, my 11-oh beads, my bar, and these 11-oh beads. Now I'm going to go ahead and pass through what I can get through easily. And then I'm going to come through the other 3 of my 11-oh beads here and the bar. Pull. And I got a little bit of a, just do a little jiggle like that to straighten my beads up so everything looks good. Now I'll come down through my bar, the next seed beads and the bar to the right. So I can add my next little dangle. You know, on this dangle, I just picked up 8 of my silver, dark silver 11-ohs and 1 silver line crystal 11-oh. So there's 3, 6, 7, and 8. Then my 1 silver line crystal seed bead, bring those down. Skip that crystal silver crystal bead, pass back through all of my dark 11-oh seed beads, my bar, my 4 silver seed beads, and my bar. And pull it through, nice and snug. Come back down through the bar, the 4 seed beads in the bar, next in line. And now we're at the center of our 9 little spaces here. So we're going to create this longer dangle here. So I do that by picking up an 8-oh, a crystal, an 8-oh, a crystal, an 8-oh, a crystal, and an 8-oh, and then 1 silver line crystal 11-ohs. Bring it all the way down. Skip my little 11-oh, and I'm going to come back through the 8-oh, the crystal, the 8-oh, the crystal, the 8-oh, the crystal, the 8-oh, the bar, the 4 dark silver 11-oh seed beads, and the bar. And pull it nice and snug. And now I have that little centerpiece done. That's my tail. And now I'll just pass right back down through the next bar hole, these 4 dark silver 11-oh seed beads. I'm just going to have to do that in a couple of maneuvers here because they're a little bit tight. So I went through the bar and 2. Now 2 more in this bar here. And I'm back into position. And now I'm just going to mirror what I did here. So I have 8 dark grays, 11-ohs. So I'll pick up my 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1 11-oh silver line crystal. Drop them down. Skip the silver line crystal 11-oh and go back through my 8 dark gray 11-ohs. Work my way back up through the bar, the seed beads in between my bars and my top bar. And I made it through 3, so I've got to get through one more 11 over here and the top bar. Give it a nice little wiggle there and just straighten everything out. And come down the next beads in line. So that'll be the bar, the next 4 dark silvers, and my bar. Alright, so now I'm ready to create this dangle, which once again was an 8-0, a crystal, an 8-0, a crystal, and one of my dark 11-0 dark silvers. I'm going to skip this dark silver, come through the crystal, the 8-0, the crystal, the 8-0, the bar, the 4 11-0s, and the bar. Give a pull. Now I'm coming back down through the bar, my 4 silver line crystal seed beads, and the bar. And now I need to recreate this one, which was 8 silver line crystals plus 1 of my dark silvers, 11-0. So I'll pick up 8. And then 1. Bring that all down. I'm going to skip my dark silver and come back through all 8 of these crystal, silver line crystal seed beads, the bar, the 4 seed beads in the middle, and the top of the bar. And pull. Alright, now I need to come back down this final hole, the 4 seed beads and the lower part of the bar, and pick up exactly what I picked up on the very first angle, which is an 8-0, a crystal, an 8-0, and an 11-0 silver line crystal. Drop those down, skip that 11-0, come through the 8-0, the crystal, the 8-0, my bar, my 4 seed beads, and my bar. Hold the phone. And I'm having a little bit of trouble, so I'm just going to grab a hold of my 11-0 seed bead down here that I skipped as I pull my thread and pull everything into position nice and snug. And there I've created the lower part of the earring. And it's exactly like the one I've already made. And now I'm coming out the top bar. So what I'm going to do is create a little beaded loop here on each side where I can attach my jump rings and the rest of my earring to my beadwork. And to do that, all I did was, since I'm already in position, is I'm going to pick up 7 of my silver line crystal 11-0s. There's 7 beads on my needle. I'm coming right back through the same hole in the bar where I'm already coming out. I'm not going to pass through my seed beads. I just want to go through the metal and of the bar and come back down through just like that. Now, I'm sitting here underneath this bar, and what I want to do, I'm going to pass my needle between these 2 rows of seed beads right in here. I'm going to pull my thread through to the other side, making sure not to get it hung down here on my dangle. Just going to pull it around just like that. Then I'll come back right straight back up through on the back side of this bar, I'm going to come up through the bar only and reinforce my little seed bead loop by passing through the 7 seed beads that I just added. And once again, you're going to make sure not to catch your thread on your dangle. And then pull it tight. Go through the rest of my seed beads here. Pull my thread tight. So I've went through all 7 beads. And I'm going to come right back down just through my bar. And pull my thread. And now I have a little reinforcement. I've been around there twice. Now I'm just going to pass up through only the metal bar right next to the right of where I'm coming out of. And I'm going to work my way in this fashion across to this hole here where I can add my other loop. So I'm coming out the top of my bar. I'm going to pass down through the next hole of my bar to the right, just the metal bar, up through just the metal bar on the 4th hole, pull my thread, down through just the 5th metal hole, not the beads, just the bar, up through the 6th hole of my bar, making sure not to catch my thread on any of my dangles, down through the 7th hole, up through this 8th one. And now I'm going to show you how I'm going to get myself into position. Because I'm actually going to be going down this bar first. So I'm going to pass my needle down through the last hole towards the outside edge of my seed beads right there. Well, wait a minute. First I'm going to double check because I think I might have caught my thread. And I did. So give me just one moment to correct that. I'm actually caught into my dangles. Now, I'm glad I noticed that. To be really careful and double check to make sure that you don't have any exposed thread here and that you didn't get, hung up on one of these dangles. All right, so I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to come out this hole just on the bar as far to the right as I can and pull my thread through. Then I'm going to take my needle again. I'm going to come up through these 2 sets of seed beads right here. The 2 sets of transparent crystal silver line seed beads. And I'm going to pull my string right like that. And then I'm going to come back up through just the bar on that last hole. So you're kind of wrapping your thread around the underside of your bar. And it's well hidden and no one can see it. Alright, so I'm down here in position to add my other little loop on this end. So once again, I'm just going to pick up my 11-0 seed beads in the silver line crystal, and I need 7. So there's 3, 5, 6, and 7. I'm going to go right straight back down through the same hole, which is this last hole on my bar here, but only through the bar and not through any of the beads. Now my thread is coming out here on the front side of my lower beadwork. I'm going to take my needle once again and pass through these 2 sets of beads here in between my bars. I'm going to pull that thread through without getting hung on my dangles there. And I'm coming up around just like that. So now I'm going to come up through on this side, flip my work over, come through the back side here on the outside edge of this loop, go through my loop and start picking up my seed beads in my little loop and reinforcing it with the second round of thread. And then I'll come through the last of the seed beads in my loop, which is 4 for me. Made it through my bar and 3 on the first pass. So now I'll come down through these ones, and I need to pass back through my bar, the loop of my bar, and just like that. And now I have created these 2 little loops facing outwards like that on the ends of both of my bars on opposite ends. Okay, so my working thread is all the way over here at the bottom of this inside bar, or inside the bottom of my top bar. My tail thread is all the way back down here. So what I'm going to do in order to get back over here and tie off my threads, I'm just going to come down through the 4 seed beads here, in between, and the bar at the bottom, just like that right there. And pull my thread. And now I'm going to be working with this bottom bar. I'm coming out between the bottom of this bar and that 8/0 seed bead. I'm going to pass my needle right back up through the next hole in my bottom bar, going towards the right. Making sure not to catch these tangles, y'all. Down through just the metal bar into on the 3rd hole to the right. Pull up through the 4th hole on the bottom bar. Down through the 5th hole, just the bar. Up through the 6th hole of that bottom bar. Down through the 7th. And I'm almost back around to my tail thread. So that's down the 7th hole in the bottom bar, up the 8th hole right here in the bottom bar. Not beads, we're just using the metal bars here. Watching my thread the whole time to make sure I'm not getting caught on any of my dangles. And now I want to come down through this 9th hole here on my need to, which is right beside my tail thread. And so what I'm going to do here is go ahead and tie another little double overhand knot. I'm going to be really careful not to catch my knot up in between any of my beads. Give me just a second, guys. I have to stand up for this part. Alright, so I'm just going to tie an overhand knot. There's one, and I'm going to tie one more. And bring it down. My knot is going to land in between the 8/0 seed bead and the metal bar. And that's where I want it to, so I don't have any exposed thread. Now I want to get rid of this thread, but I don't want to cut it right here at my knot. So all I'm going to do is go back up through the bar, the 4 seed beads in between the top bar and the bottom bar, and the top bar just like that. I'm going to pull my thread up through there, give a nice little tug so my knot secures up inside. I'm going to take my thread burner or a pair of scissors, whatever you have. Take your threads off. And there you have your beautiful little piece. And I apologize, I see now that I'm having a little lighting situation. Let's see what I can do about that. Alright, so I really hope you guys got that. Sorry I didn't shut the blind earlier, but there it is. And it matches my other one. So now what we need to do is just add our jump rings, our chain, and the ear wire. And to do that, you're going to need a set of chain nose pliers and round nose pliers. And these jump rings I'm using today are, they have an inside diameter of 4 millimeters. So that's the inside diameter, which means the inside of the metal. So I'm going to pick up a jump ring, and I'm going to go ahead and do it, open it up. I'm going to pick up my loop here on the end of my beadwork. And then I'm going to take one of my pieces of chain and get into the very last link here, add that to my jump ring, and then I'm going to close the jump ring. You make sure that I have a nice little connection there with no gaps. And there we go. So there's one. Pick up another jump ring. Open it with your pliers. Grab the loop on the other side of your earring. Well, hold on, guys. Okay. Now, I'm going to add my other piece of chain on my very last link. Grab my pliers. Whoops. I'm having a little trouble seeing in this bright sunlight, so let me try that. Get my chain back on. Sorry, guys. Anyway, you catch my drift. In order to see, I had to come up out of frame, sorry. And I've just took the jump ring, opened it, strung it through the beaded loop, added my piece of chain. Now I'm just closing the jump ring. Make sure I don't have a gap in my jump ring. So there I have my jump rings and my chain here. I'm going to lay that down. I'm going to pick up my last jump ring. I don't know why I'm having such a difficult time with this. I made the first one pretty easily. I'm going to open that jump ring. I'm going to thread on my pieces of chain. Whoa, oops. Yeah, that was really cool. I sent that one just flying. Oops, sorry about that. So I have my jump ring and I have my earring. I'm going to thread my chain onto my jump ring. I'm going to thread both pieces of my chain. Then I'm going to thread my earring hook. And it doesn't really matter on this project, guys, which way your ear hook goes. Some projects it does, but on this one it does not. And grab your jump ring with your other set of pliers. And then just close the jump ring. And then check your jump ring. Make sure you're closed up really well. And that there's no gaps. So that your chains and your ear wire cannot come out. And there you have it. Let me zoom back out. And that's complete. And I sure hope that this is a decent video when I go to edit it. I hope you guys enjoyed today's project. It's just a really gorgeous pair of quick-made little chandelier earrings with lots of bling. Like to let you guys know that I have a Facebook group. It's called Blue Ridge Diva Designs, fun and extra stuff, where you can post your beaded items and talk about anything you guys want to talk about. Leave me comments below. Click like if you like my video. Let me know if there's anything that you didn't understand, if there's any way you think I can improve it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, which is Blue Ridge Diva Designs on YouTube, and my Facebook page, my Google Plus, and my Twitter, as well as my Instagram and my Etsy page. Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and sign off for today's project. Y'all have a great rest of your Wednesday, and I look forward to seeing you guys again pretty soon. And happy beading. Peace out.